Good morning, YouTube, family, friends, people passing through. Be more of a old school, my old school type introductions. This isn't a choo-choo video. This is more on a serious note. Would like to thank everybody for your support. We're basically going to talk what it's like a 47-year-old male with hypogonadism, which basically means testosterone issues, low test, but also other issues of high sexual binding globulin hormone, which you can have your total test, and then if the SBGH hormone is high, it will interfere in your free test and your bioavailability. So typically what happens is you have testosterone, like vitamin D that stores in the liver, or you have testosterone that's stored in the body, and then you have a bioavailability factor. We have free test, which free test is different from total test. Total test is just what you have. Your free test is what you have available to you to utilize, which then gets trickled down into your bioavailability. So you could have a level of 900 test, but if your free test is 100 or below, I think that was like 2 to 250 range. Mine a few years ago, I'll be getting some blood work done this month, was like it was less than 100 for free test, and my bioavailability was next to nothing. Just like I have like 70 to 80% high-end vitamin D stored in my liver. I forget how I'm drawing a blank on how they do it, but my vitamin D is on the higher end, but I have osteoporosis. So what that means is that when you have your vitamin D in the liver, it will actually, in order the homeostatic metabolic process, there's a kidney enzyme that is activated through your homeostatic mechanism. So the body self-regulates that, okay? Much like, your car self-regulates stuff in the engine until something goes faulty. You have your oil, you have your pistons, you have your engine, you have different components, you have your water filter. So if everything's working synergistically and everything's good, your car is good. Well, my body's not working synergistically. My homeostatic mechanisms are off, in the special kidney enzyme that releases that supercharged 1.25 hydroxy D, I think they call it. If that enzyme's inhibited, then there's no absorption of that vitamin D going through the system, so you store it in the liver. In my opinion, you'll get vitamin D toxicity that way because it's not being utilized. So, you have all this vitamin D, where's it going? It's going to stress your kidney, it's going to stress other areas of the body, possibly adrenals. You're not efficient. So it's a waste at that point. In my opinion, I don't even know why I take vitamin D, because it's not being utilized. Now, these are my issues here, and this is medically what they think has contributed to my severe osteoporosis. Now, I will say, as a child, I ate a lot of sugar, ate a lot of candy, ate a lot of soda, drank a lot of soda, had grandparents that fed me and took me out, and it was just protocol back then. We didn't know, parents didn't know. I mean, had a great childhood, and I had a lot of good things, had a lot of good food, had a lot of treats, and I mean, it's those steps there that have led to the destruction of where I'm at now. 47 years on this planet, has made me realize a lot of things. We are in a time of great change, negative change. The world is totally different from what it was when I was growing up. We had superheroes. We had Rocky. We had Terminator. We had, you know, the Schwarzenegger movies, all the Stallone movies. You know, we had our He-Man. We had Voltron. You know, we had G.I. Joe, we had MASH way back in the like late 70s, early 80s. I remember having MASH toys. You know, a lot of family-oriented, Full House, Family Matters. You know, heck, even a Seinfeld. And one show that I really couldn't stand was, oh, I forget the name of that show, where it was like it was a few girls and a few guys. It was right around the same time, and Jennifer Aniston was in it. I think Courtney Cox might have been in it. I forget the name of it, but it was another show that, you know, it's the Three's Company, you know, and you know, there was unity, you know. And I'm not gonna miss, this isn't a political talk here. This is just this is actually a leading into you know, why a 47-year-old man despises and hates his life. And started at 5. You know, when I started getting picked on, first time I entered the school bus, kindergarten, it started. I went on the bus one day, and you know, kids just started hitting the back of my seat, pulling my hair, and then just making fun of me, and I didn't do nothing. I got on that bus. I didn't look right. I mean, I had a little bit of a jaw problem. Like I said, my jaw was never profound, and through the years it receded back till I had no bone, and then I had to have jaw surgery in 2002 where they broke both jaws, pulled the bottom forward as much as they could. So basically, there's a notch here, so this is as far as they pulled it forward. So that means that my chin was actually back here, okay, like this, but my chin sat back here. So when they pulled it forward, it gives you an illusion that there's a side jaw. But if I were to shave my face, I look totally deformed. That's why I have had a beard since I started trying to grow one in 8th grade, and I had a real scraggly one through 10th and 12th, and then it through the years, using a beard trimmer. It's not the thickest, but it's thick enough. And I don't know, and I have a feeling that the loss of jawbone definitely contributed to I think was a precursor to osteoporosis. I've always had small wrists, you know. I've always had, you know, they're looks a little thicker now because, you know, I have forearm muscle, so it's gonna look, you know, but they're always been small. Okay, my you see my leg here? You see how tiny that is, and you see here, okay? You see my ankle, you know, I mean, I can put my hand around my ankle. I can put my hand around my wrist, and I have very small hands, okay? Most kids have a hand the size of mine. Don't get that confused with down below. For as short as I am and as small as my hand is, I actually do way better than one would think. And I've surprised a few mates back in the day with that, which is kind of cool. That's the only one good thing going for me. I look the biggest in one area. But I guess that's better than nothing, right? Because a guy my size should be like this. So, you know, I always fool around. I was born in 1977, and then I have about a 7, you know, privately, almost close to it. So it's like I felt like I just was gifted with 7s, I guess you could say, you know. So anyways, but really, the depression and the demeaning state of a 47-year-old man with, uh, the hypergonadism problem. The test, I don't believe, is too low. I'm going to guess it's about 500. Upper end is obviously 9 to 11, so 5 is low. In my opinion, it's not that low, but it's low, so we'll see. I'll give you guys an update when I get that blood work in 3 weeks. We'll see if I'm right. Taking some supplements, some DHEA and things. We'll see if that has done anything, and if it's any higher than 500, and if it is, that means the supplement's working. If it's like in the 3s or in the 4s, then the supplement's not doing anything. But it's the debilitating, being a man, needing to protect, being able to protect myself, and then, having to worry that if I get hit the wrong way or thrown the wrong way, not now, but, later in life when it might matter, I get worried. And I'm very worried. A lot of stress going on. And really, I've come to the conclusion that I can understand why a man or a woman or anybody can hate their existence so much that they just don't really want to go forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm suicidal, because I'm not. I don't have that in me. I'd rather go find some bullies and beat the piss shit out of them, and have a few weeks in jail over killing myself. If I'm going to hurt somebody, I'm going to find the bullies that hurt me, and I'm going to hurt them, not to a point of life in prison, but to a point of maybe a week or 2 or a month, whatever. But if I were to make a decision to do that, that would be done. I wouldn't harm myself. Society, people, kids, growing up, they've hurt me enough. They've messed me up enough. They've taken away my manhood, as I call it. They raped me of my manhood at a young age. And I believe a lot of people thought that I would never be in a position in life where I would be able to find a girl, be with a girl, be on my own, work, pay my own bills, as buried as I am in them right now. And I will get myself out of it, because I always have since 2005. And it's just a lot of stress, but I know I'll get myself out of it, So I always do, I always have. I mean, I've been on my own, dealing with my own shit, my own stresses, my own persecutions, my own turmoil, my own hate, my own just depressed ways, really since 05 and on. But I had issues with bad depression and hatred and anger, since I was 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up. To any men out there, that are going through any of this, I'm right there with you. This channel really isn't about thoughts, but I'm going to start adding a few thoughts. My food videos, they're getting some good views, but I want to add some more stuff to the channel too. Yeah, not going to make another channel. I mean, it's the same channel. At least you guys can see there's some normalcy to me. Everybody likes to poke their comments of, this, that, and this. But like I said, it's Food Train Mike. This is my reality. I got to work today at freaking 9 o'clock. It's closed, but there's work to be done where I work, and so there's people coming in, so I gotta go in. I don't want to go in. My mind's all messed up. I really can't think, and I really can't process so many things at once, and I truly believe that when a man, especially a woman, especially when they were raped of their childhood through bullies, and through being picked on, and through having stones thrown at them all the time, and for being told how ugly you were by your peers, and then being with a girl in 96 and then having, her, make comments about my jaw at the time, and she had a friend that thought I was embarrassed to be with me, so like we couldn't all walk together. She said I was so ugly, her friend, and so like, if we were in school, I had to stay away. Like, it was just all fucked up, what people did to me about my looks and everything. And then, everybody wonders why I got a complex, persecution complex, as I was told growing up all the fucking time. Well, I wonder why. When you're told you're so ugly, and when you're you're basically demeaned and demasculinized since 5 all the way up, and then you're gonna get told you got a persecution complex. Well, that's fucking psychological, right? You're gonna get that. You're gonna develop a persecution complex. I'm not strong-minded enough to have overcome that. I couldn't build muscle, still can't build muscle. I was short, I was ugly. I didn't have any qualities that at least didn't have nice hair, didn't have nothing. Couldn't even grow a thick, nice, coarse beard where it could be out to here like like one of those religious rabbis or something, where it's just so thick, couldn't have any quality. So it's like, with that, how do you go through life when you see your peers better looking than you, better bodies, better athleticism, better everything, getting a girl, doing everything? Well, you're not going to develop a persecution complex. You're not going to develop a complex. You're not going to look at yourself in the mirror and want to punch your face every day because you can't stand what you're looking at when you've been looking at it since you were 5. Started shaving in 8th grade, looking at what an ugly face I had, trying to make lines with a beard, trying to make a jaw. Takes me an hour to shave every Sunday to try to get stuff even that I can't even get even because there's no bone. This hair is thinner, this hair is thicker, so it just makes it harder to make the lines. Now I've got gray coming in, so it's also messing up the illusion that I'm trying to create here, and so the reality is why so this is, why I hate my life so much, and this is why I'm in the deep darks of the depression, and this is what happens when peers have raped you of your childhood, your manhood, your confidence, your desires to move forward. And yes, it's my fault. I should have been strong enough to overcome these things, but there's a lot of things that have gone on and go on in my head that seem to prevent these things. I get involved with good things, school, whatnot, but then things happen and I have a tendency to self-sabotage, which is what I do, give up, and the process and the pattern has considered where, you see where we're at today. So the persecution of a man or a woman is going to dictate different paths. Some women become promiscuous early. Some women gravitate towards strip clubs. Some women don't. Some women go the right way. Same with men. Some men sell drugs. Some men, ruin themselves. Some men get over it and make a life for themselves. Me, I'm one of those anomalies to the fact that I fall in the category of failure, and one that wasn't able to overcome what I needed to do to better myself and to be able to have a better life at this point. So, little thought here. If any of you relate or whatnot, you could comment below. But yeah, thank you for the thought. It was just kind of important to me to let that out. Thank you so much.